Here's the question. Is it safe to travel to Mexico? We know so many people have spring break trips coming
right around
up.
the corner.
Yeah, and they're wondering. But this weekend, the death of Mexico's most powerful cartel boss threw some of the country's most popular resort towns into chaos.
Chief investigative reporter Eric Flack is back on the story again tonight as people from our area struggle to get home.
Just hours ago, the State Department lifted its emergency shelter in place for U.S. citizens vacationing in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. But security experts warn what happened there over the past couple days should give any spring breaker pause. Tonight, there is quiet in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The State Department lifting its emergency shelter in place for U.S. citizens there Tuesday afternoon. But just days ago, two men from D.C. on vacation in PV watched parts of this same city burn.
That's when we saw everything, just fires all across the city from cars that were set ablaze.
They were all masked and they were wearing bulletproof vests. They had guns in their waistbands.
The violence erupted over the weekend after the Mexican army killed the country's most powerful cartel leader. Cartel members responded with coordinated attacks across the country.
So you've got some very safe states and very safe cities, which are totally acceptable to visit, which can be 2 hours from an area that has a homicide rate comparable to a war zone.
Tomas Michael Carvalho is a senior intelligence analyst at the McLean-based international security firm Global Guardian, which has teams on the ground across Mexico and has helped dozens of stranded travelers get to airports and out of PV in the last 48 hours. Carvalho says the cartel leader's death will trigger a violent internal power struggle for control.
Now that plays out in shootouts across all of that cartel's territory, and that's going to happen violently, and that's something that travelers need to be watching.
But Carvalho says tourists are not the target.
There's a mutual shared interest between criminal organizations and state forces. Both of them understand that it's in everyone's best interest if tourists are not harmed.
His advice: don't cancel your travel plans yet.
In one day, Puerto Vallarta went from being a very peaceful resort town to something that looked like a war zone. And the following day, everything looked like it was back to normal. Things change rapidly, and it's imperative that travelers follow local trends.
The two men from D.C. who are trapped in Puerto Vallarta right now tell me they do have rescheduled flights planned over the next couple days to finally return home. They say they do not feel safe enough right now to go back outside, even though that shelter in place has been lifted, just in case the violence happens again. Eric Flack, WUSA 9.